What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group, Underground Sports Philadelphia, live from the Double Eagle Saloon and Deck Bar here in Vineland, New Jersey. Kyle Bennett, Coach Guzman with you after one of the most overall team effort wins that I can remember in Vineland High School football history. A 3-0 win on the road at Pennsauken to secure that third win of the season, all in shutout fashion, which we will get to later on in the episode. But, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Take me through just the pure emotion of a game like that, because that was a total team effort win across the board to grind it out through 3 3/4 of a game. Colin Greif hits that field goal to be the eventual game-winning play and game-winning score.
Right.
From a coaching perspective, what is a game like that for you?
I'll tell you what, that means the world to me. It means that my kids, again, were locked in all week, as I was telling you in the previous podcast. They executed on all phases of the game, and they were relentless at the pursuit of getting that W. I mean, absolutely relentless. I mean, both teams were unwavering, right, for the first 3.5 quarters pretty much. But then the Golden Lake comes through in a big way. So proud of Greif. He only gets better and better every single week, as do all our kids. Every week we've been up in the bar. So very proud of all my kids.
You know, from an offensive perspective, you guys were able to get a lot of the run game going. It was good to see Ryan Carter out there in a lot of aspects, being that lead blocker for whoever was in the backfield, whether it was Cephas. We saw a lot of Prince Borte. We saw some more of those wide receiver handoffs as well.
Right.
And then we saw the boy, number 3, Tank Powell, running the ball with his legs. Talk to me about just the offensive execution, from the run game standpoint to Tank finding his spots and picking and choosing properly in this game to pass the ball, finding open receivers like a Mark Mutcherson, like Mason Afanador. Across the board, I felt like the offense, even though no points were scored offensively, it was a very fluid offensive game and picked up right where you guys left off against EHT.
Yes. Again, Coach Hendricks, Coach Wimbish, Coach Gilbert, Coach Vizo, these men, they put the time in, man. They put the time in, and it shows every game. I mean, they just get better and better, paying attention to those little meticulous little details that you might not so much put so much effort or emphasis on. These men go ahead, make sure they grasp onto that, and they make sure that the kids grasp onto that as well. And then it's just a show come game day. So kudos to my coaching staff. Well done, well executed.
And, at any level of football, they say, if you're not talking about the offensive line, they're doing their job. Got to give flowers to Coach Gilbert and the offensive line. Over the past few weeks, Tank has been almost untouchable on top of, his ability to maneuver in and out of the pocket. But the O-line has given him time to be able to scramble, to be able to find his mark and find the receivers. Talk to me about how well this offensive line has just meshed from week 0 to what you guys saw in that spectacular performance against Pennsauken, because I thought the O-line was kind of the unsung story in that matchup.
You're talking about a group of guys that have been grinding since the beginning, since camp, since before camp. They just keep getting better, Kyle. They keep getting better. The communication is through the roof now. They have their own set cues that they have amongst themselves, let alone the coaching that we give them, and whatever play that we call. Again, they have their own adjustments at the line, which is nice also. It's almost as if, you have another coach out there playing in the game, So, again, can't say enough about our O-line. They did their job. They made sure that they got the seams ready for those running backs, and they gave Powell enough time to throw that ball when he was called upon.
Yeah, across the board, the offense, like I said, it was super fluid. It felt like, you guys were able to play offensive football, even, like we said, even though you didn't get in the end zone. the offense moved at your pace. You were able to kind of control the pace of
Right.
the offense, kind of play with the matchups that the defense was showing you, and the offense didn't really seem to struggle outside of just not getting in the end zone, which there were opportunities.
Absolutely.
Late in, I think it was the fourth quarter, early fourth quarter, the fumble that happens, in the red zone, that was an opportunity that was there
Yes.
for the offense, but you guys make up for it, go down the field and get that field goal. But the offense was able to move the ball at will, and it wasn't a struggle like we saw, against the Holy Spirit, which we mentioned after that game. Those hiccups are going to happen. You're going to get stuck in the mud against the number 4 team in the state.
Right.
It felt like the mud was off the tires the past couple weeks now, and the offense was rolling.
Our offense is definitely matriculating the ball downfield. Um, it's a shame though. So we were in the red zone for 14 times this past week. So again, it kind of it's like bittersweet. We know we were controlling the tempo of the game. We know that we were, taking our shots when need be. However, you're in the red zone 14 times. Something's got to give. We got to get that ball matriculated into that end zone, and we will. We will. It's a work in progress. It's been a work in progress since the beginning of the season. So, again, I'm just very proud of my kids. They put on a spectacular performance this past week.
And he showed up 2 weeks in a row now, defensively. The one and only Ryan Maven,
Mr.
once
Maven.
again,
Mr. Maven
is able to scoop that ball up, put you guys in a position to win the game. It seems like his football IQ, he hit the books and got, not that his football brain was small. It feels like his football brain has just it got like super soldier serum
Right.
and has just grown as the season has gone on. And just we talked about it last week, his awareness level on the field when he's out there playing defense is almost second to none on this team.
Let me tell you something. Ryan Maven is a baller. Point blank. Period. He's a student of the game. He plays with the chip on his shoulder. There was a point there where his leg was bothering him, and he couldn't play for a certain period of time, and that worked on his psyche. So when he came back, it's been nothing but flaming glory. And we're very proud. Again, as I told you week previous, I was waiting for a staple game from Ryan, and he gave us that. Okay, and being the defensive player of the week, I'm going to venture to say he was defensive player of the week again this week. I mean, all over the field. We just got out of the film room. We're watching the game again. Mind you, I've already watched the game 3 times prior to this. I know what I saw. I see a kid that's relentless to the ball. I see a kid that studies film beyond belief, knows where the ball's going. He's not guessing. He knows exactly where the ball's going. Can't say enough about him. Just a great kid who's come back with a vengeance, and watch out for teams to come.
And I mean, also defensively in there, Noah Cruz, to me, finally had his coming out
Yes.
party
Yes, he
this
did.
week, was able to get after the quarterback, was in there making tackles nonstop this entire game himself. And we said it on the broadcast, myself and Terry Love, Gavin Gallo at that edge rusher position. Welcome to your new home, brother,
Yeah.
because that position for him is a match made in heaven. His ability to just watch the ball, get off the line of scrimmage, and make his way after the quarterback, he's like a wild animal hunting prey.
Yes.
That's what he looks like out there, and he just looks born for that position.
I'll tell you what, Gavin Gallo. So a quick side story on Gavin. When he was a freshman, I was head JV coach. I immediately brought him up with me. There was something in him. I put him at the end spot, to be honest. He was playing end for me for JV, making plays. I said, son, that's your position right there. Little did I know that he's he's a plug and play wherever I want him to
Yep.
play. You're talking about a kid who can just grasp onto anything. Offense, defense. I mean, he was the quarterback of our team. Tight end, D end, linebacker. I mean, this kid is a baller. Long snapper. Again, he is
Has a special
football
teams
player.
touchdown to his name this
Yes,
year.
a football player, Kyle. I mean, and it's funny because the other day he said, before we played EHT, he says, Coach, in the hallway, Coach, you remember when I was a freshman? You told me I would be a really good DN. I said, Gavin, you are, but you're so much more now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a total football player. This
Him
is a guy you can count on
anywhere.
anywhere on the field. Very proud to have him
He
on.
reminds me of Chris Long playing that
Yeah,
edge rusher position where
he's
Chris
coming
Long was
downhill,
like a
man.
stand-up linebacker in a 3-4, but can also, put his
Put his
hand in
hand
the
in the
dirt
dirt.
and get after the quarterback at the DN spot.
Absolutely.
It's very Chris Long-like,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
Very smart kid, knows his position or wherever you put him, per se, anywhere on the field. Um, and as far as Noah Cruz, you were absolutely right in saying that this was his staple game. He was all over the field. I've said it before. He's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Him and Julius together there, it's a two-headed monster.
Uh-huh.
However you want to eat.
Yep.
You want to you want to take the plate, somebody's going to grab it from you.
Yep.
You want to go ahead and give the plate, somebody's going to still grab it from you. These kids are just they're coming into their own now. The fluid nature of the game is coming to them second to none, and I'm still waiting for more sparks to fly. Man. Season's not over, Kyle.
It's not over.
It's not over.
We will talk about that in just a minute. Obviously, Colin Greif hitting that field goal wins the game for you guys. Easily player of the game. We also gave player of the game this week to Tank Powell for the way that he has just progressively gotten better and better at the quarterback position. So co-player of the week this week,
Right.
brought to you by Allen Associates, our presenting sponsor. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belts, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. And whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access their services by visiting their brand new website, which is linked in the description on audio and on YouTube, and it's probably on the screen because you should be watching on our YouTube channel. So check out their website and join the family and let them help you secure your future. You can also contact them today by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for sponsoring Guzman's Gridiron and our player of the game segment. Talk to me about Colin Greif and just the absolute stones to go out there and just cold-blooded, a pressure situation for the first time this year in kicking a field goal that can one way or the other swing the course of the game. It's been back and forth 0-0 the whole time. There's 4 minutes left in regulation. For him to go out there, routine, that field goal probably would have been good from 43 yards, maybe even longer with how much distance it got after it went through the uprights. Just talk about just the ice in his veins to go out there and do that with ease.
Again, Colin Greif, a.k.a. the Golden Leg, he is an amazing kid. He's an amazing football player, and I've said it before, I have zero qualms of putting him out there at any point.
Said it last week.
I mean, it's the truth. Zero qualms. This kid is a student of the game. He hones in on his craft. He's constantly making sure that he gets better, asking for critiques. And guess what? I always keep him right here. There is no yelling at that kid. There is none of that. None of that goes on. Everything is – you're going to laugh now. So this past game, before that kick, I said, so come over here, Greif. I said, don't worry, because previous he had a punt that went kind of a lie, right? Okay. So I pulled him over, no yelling, talked to him. I said, listen, this is what I want from you. You know that I'm going to pull the trigger if we get within range. That you know, right? He goes, yeah, Coach. I said, so what I want you to do is go into your happy place. I had to bring Happy Gilmore back.
There we
go. I had to bring it back. So I told him go to, and right away his face, like Coach Ferrer. I'm like, yeah, I mean, all right. So it's playoff game, a playoff game here.
It was a playoff environment.
Yeah, absolutely. The intensity was through the roof, but I always got to make sure that he smiles. When I see him smile, I know it.
Game over.
It's game over. It's that thing's going through the uprights from 50.
Right.
Because I've seen him kick them from 50,
Exactly.
52 at practice. And the rest is history. God, like this man sets up. It was a routine chip shot for him. Boop, right on through the uprights from the right hash, mind you. Wasn't directly in the middle of the field. And again, the trust is there not only on my end, but his teammates have zero qualms. When they go out there, everything's routine. Boom, boom, boom. Marcelino puts out a great show during the week as far as going over all adjustments if need be.
100%.
And the rest is history. The man kicks it through, and wins us the game. Wins us the game. So, shout out to you, man. You're gonna be an asset wherever you go, Grafe. Great kid.
To have the type of game environment, we talked about it a little bit at the top of the show too, but for that back and forth type of play, to have that playoff-like environment, both teams feeling like they're vying for a postseason spot in their particular, portion of the bracket and everything.
Yes.
To navigate through that as a coaching staff for the first time for you as a head coach, was there anything from previous years that you tapped into during the game to kind of put you in a mindset from a play calling standpoint, from a decision making standpoint, that was like, okay, if we do this, we can win this game, we can put ourselves in the driver's seat and try to determine our fate?
I'll tell you what, I attribute a lot of my, mindset, if you will, by way of, just watching great coaches throughout my years. I've been, blessed and fortunate to have the coaching that I have since I was younger, all the way through college, and, involving myself with Coach Russo when he got the head coaching job at Vineland. So I've taken attributes from all these men. And one of the biggest attributes is you can't get too high, you can't get too low. Live in that moment. Live in that threshold. And, every decision that you make sure that it's based upon, the situation at hand. But don't get flustered at any point when going ahead and, if you make that decision, whatever decision you make, you got to live with. So I've kind of just, again, taken from all my coaches that I had previous, and my man Danny as well, who did a great job for Vineland and continues to do a great job for Vineland. So, yeah, that's how I've gotten my ice in my veins, if you will.
To go into a season and come away at the high school level with one shutout win is impressive on its own.
Right.
To come away from a high school season with 2 shutout wins is very impressive. To walk away from this regular season with 3 shutout wins for this team. Talk to me about Coach Smith, Ryan Shelton, and just the talent on this defense to go out there and pitch 3 shutout victories in 2023.
Again, Batman and Robin are out on the case. Kyle, they're just out on the case. Gotham City's best. They're special guys, man. The attention to detail is uncanny. The kids know this. The level of expectation is through the roof. I mean, I don't even think NFL guys can put up with their level of expectation. But again, the kids know it's all for their own good. The kids are treated with respect, the love, but it's that tough love. It's that tough love that they get given, and in return, this is their a win per se. Mm-hmm. Besides the team win, dude, you're pitching shutouts.
With an S on the end.
Yes, and shutouts in a fashion that are just dominating fashions. Not just all right, they got a shutout. No. Watch the game. Mm-hmm. Watch the game and really see the domination that these kids are putting up there. Even though some of them are very undersized, they're playing with a ton of heart. And so, kudos to Coach Shelton, Coach Smith. They're a beautiful duo, man. So hats off to them.
I don't know if you guys picked up on it. We certainly did in the booth, and it felt that way. I don't know if you guys felt this way. For a bunch of that first half, it felt like they were no-huddle punting when they were punting you guys the ball. They were quick pitching those punts. Talk to me about Marcelino's ability as a special teams coach to adjust to that and then kind of nullify that as the game progressed. That's the first time I've seen somebody kind of no huddle on a punt situation, which was
Right.
very interesting.
Right.
But talk to me about navigating through that, and then Marcelino's attention to detail to kind of nip that in the butt and
And keep
get
it.
rid of it.
Again, Marcelino's great. We love having him on staff, and his attention to detail is very evident. Very, very evident. Um, something like that you don't practice for, right? It's something that during the course of the game you have to adjust. His adjustments are on the fly, and they're like this. I mean, it's a matter of him getting into that huddle, letting the kids know exactly where he wants them, and again, he always puts them in successful winning spots. And it really didn't change the course of the game or anything like that. He made his adjustment, done. So again, Marcelino, great job. Keep it up. You're doing fantastic, and he's going to be here for the mainstay. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't think I've seen him this year so ready to like skyrocket into the air after that win
Yeah.
on Friday night. Um, to navigate through, we talked about it last week. Some of just like the lack thereof, discipline that Pennsauken had. A young
Right.
team, a lot of penalties
Right.
as the game progressed. Talk to me about just this team from Vineland High School's ability to stay the course, not let those affect their ability
Right.
during the game, and let those penalties that Pennsauken was committing throw them off their game, whether it was on offense or defense.
I'll tell you what, we run a tight ship. So as far as our kids, doing undisciplined things, you don't really see that from Violent. Again, our coaching is specifically detail oriented. So things of that nature, they know that would drive us through the roof. So in turn, they just execute, man. They really try to hone in and stay on sides and not commit any encroachments or any type of penalties. Of course, penalties are part of the game. There's going to be a few here and there, but I think we were pretty much flag free, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 flags that we got in the beginning,
Right.
in the first half. Other than that, it was pretty mistake free football. So again, kudos to my kids.
Something that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Congratulations, coach. Your first road win of your career.
Thank you.
To go in and finally get that,
Thank you.
checked off the list. What was it like to come away finally, final opportunity of the regular season to get that road win under your belt?
It was Kyle was surreal again, but to be honest, I didn't think about it once. I really didn't. I was just thinking about, did we make it? Did we not make it?
Right.
The kids. I want the kids in. And I know that we handled our end. We had a win, and we did. The rest were up to the football gods, and we just fell short. I mean, literally, just fell short of entering the state playoff divisional bracket. But it's okay. Kids understand. I gave them the information first thing once I got it hot off the presses, and they've taken it, on the chin. They know that there's a lot more at stake than just, all right, us going to the state divisional round of playoffs. We could end the season ultimately with a winning record. So now our focus is on cleaning up the rest of these games, come this half of the season. And then Turkey Day, man, a big day. So the kids are rearing to go for this Thursday. Again, Eastern is our opponent. We're not looking forward to anything else but Eastern. So our kids are flying high on that.
We'll mention that game in the second half of the show. Obviously, we'll preview everything, but your first regular season under your belt, a 3-5 record. Like you said, you guys left some meat on the bones, but to walk away with the 3-5 record, the 3 wins coming in the way that they did.
Right.
Talk to me about your first season, as a head coach, regular season wise,
Right.
in the books.
I'll tell you what, it was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of transitioning. It was a lot of, getting to know the lay of the land by way of not the coaching aspect, but all the other intangibles, parents, and administrators and all this other stuff that people have no idea about when it comes to coaching. Even to the point of getting the kids their uniforms dry cleaned. It's 3 levels. That's a lot of. It's a lot. It's just a lot of work.
That's a lot of laundry.
Yeah. It's a lot of laundry, a lot of work. But again, it's been an experience, been a great experience. I wouldn't want it any other way, man. Right here in Vineland, with my guys, my kids. So just an awesome, awesome experience for my first year.
Kind of felt like the perfect storm, too, that game against Pennsauken. It's the South Jersey Gridiron Game of the Week. And old pal Tom McGurk is in town.
Yeah, he is.
How fun was it to have Tom back on the sidelines? Not as regular anymore with just all the merging that a lot of these papers have done and the transfer to online and everything. But to have Tom back, he's a Vineland football staple pretty much. To have him back on the sidelines, see him after the game, how fun and special was that for you?
That was very special to me. Tom McGurk is a great person for the community. Great person, for the kids. He's a true testament to how reporters should really hone in on their craft. Just a breath of fresh air, and it's always nice to have talks with him. He again knows his craft. Utilizes every type of tool that he can to go ahead and put these kids on different platforms. So thank you, Tom, for what you do. Excellent.
And
Excellent work.
He cares about every school, too, which
Absolutely.
is really awesome to see. Like,
Absolutely.
Tom is somebody I looked up to coming up, in the journalistic world and everything. And, he's always been there to bounce ideas off of and has supported this endeavor since day one with Coach Russo and now, obviously, with the transition to Guzman's Gridiron. But,
Yep.
To have him on the sidelines is always fun. And that goes for, the Josh Friedmans, the Anthony Capolas,
Yes.
Mark Tribble, the whole 9 yards. Whenever
Absolutely.
they're in town, it feels like that big game is happening.
Yeah.
So to have Tom there was really, really cool.
It was excellent. It was nice just getting to talk with him and always when he always comes, it's always it's weird because it's like he looks at me, I look at him, our smiles like automatically light up. He's just a good guy to be around. And again, he's awesome for the kids of any community because he puts spotlight on any community that there's sports going on. There's Tom. Mm-hmm. He's there to cover it, and he's a great person and great accolade to have on staff as far as any type of paper.
He's a South Jersey staple.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're gonna dive into everything that transpired with the postseason, the upcoming matchup against Eastern, and where we go from here as we go down this back end of the schedule.
Yep.
We're going to have a word from our sponsor, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Guzman's Gridiron, presented by Underground Sports Philadelphia and the Red and Gray Gridiron Group. This episode of Guzman's Gridiron is brought to you proudly by Allen Associates. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belts, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Our family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access our services by visiting our brand new website, AllenAssoc.com. That's AllenAssoc.com. Link is also in the description of this episode. So join the family and let us help you secure your future. Contact Allen Associates today by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. We want to thank Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron, the official Vineland High School football coaches show on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. Now, let's get back to the show. And welcome back, everybody, to Guzman's Gridiron. Big thank you to our sponsor. So, Coach, obviously you hinted at it before. Our word from our sponsors just missed out on the state playoff bracket, like 0.4. Talk to me. I feel like a lot of people at home listening, a lot of people watching don't really know the ins and outs of how teams get in, how the system works. From your knowledge of everything, can you just give us a layout of how, you know, the who gets in, who gets out type of situation plays out with PowerPoints and everything?
All right, so playoff scenario. Of course, you got your PowerPoints, um, and you got your strength of schedule. You got these residual points that come by way of that. So that's how they tally up. Who's going to be in, who's going to be out. And as you said, our team was we just missed it. Point four, but that point four put somebody else above us. It's the rules. It's what it is. So going into the next season, what we've learned as a staff, we've got to, you know, align our games a little better as far as strength of schedule, which we will. We'll make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. If it's going to be up to residual points, we're going to make sure that we have that tallied up in our favor.
And to kind of look back at the season too, where we've talked about it a ton, where that Oakcrest game, a couple plays here and there, could have gone another way to improving the record. The Clearview game, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, you guys had that game in hand. How much does that get talked about amongst the team in a situation like this? Not that it's something you hold on to and burden, but
Right.
to kind of opens your eyes a little bit and says, hey, if we clean some things up here at that point in the season, maybe we're not talking about missing out by point four. Maybe we're talking about a 5-3 record, a 4-4 record,
Right.
and we find ourselves in the state playoff for the first time in a couple of years.
The kids see the beauty of our kids is they understand that. They understand that if we would have taken care of our responsibility earlier this season, we wouldn't be talking about this. We would be in the state playoff divisional tournament. However, we didn't. So you can't cry over spilled milk. Mm-hmm. It's on to the next phase of the season, and that is, the Consolation Bracket tournament. So we're poised and ready, man. We're poised and ready. We've seen a ton of film today. We put in our install. So come tomorrow, hard hats on, and we're going out there, business-like mentality for the next couple of days. And then come Thursday, it's 6 o'clock, lights. Let's go.
Consolation Bracket, a familiar opponent.
Yeah. Comes around full.
Comes around full circle. How funny is that? That, last year, Consolation Bracket, Eastern comes to town.
Yeah.
Your first year coaching now, Consolation Bracket, Eastern's coming to town. Hopefully those refs aren't coming to town.
Yeah.
But how funny is it that the stars align that way, that, your final first home playoff game last year as an assistant coach is now your first home Consolation playoff game as the head coach?
It's weird how energy works, Tom. It really is, man. It's so weird. When I saw that jump out, I'm like, for real? Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me?
This again?
But guess what? It worked out the way it should. I'm a firm believer in that. And we're going to just go out. Again, we're going to give the community of Vineland what it deserves. A team, they're going to see a team that is relentless in their pursuit, and a team that's definitely never going to give up at all. They're going to give you your all. So make sure you come out in Groves Thursday, 6 o'clock, guys. Watch us go ahead and play against Eastern High School.
A little Thursday night football action at Gatone Stadium. How fun is that? You guys have obviously played Saturday afternoon, the typical Friday night.
Right.
How much does it change the schedule, too? Obviously, with it being a short week, how much do you have to pack into these different days to be on schedule, to be ready for a short week?
So, again, I say it over and over, but attention to detail is a must. Our kids are primed and ready. All season it's been the same, type of a communication back and forth with the kids. So they know we mean business. Make sure that you're on time. If you're late, don't bother coming. So this is all instilled in their head. They're primed and ready. We're war tested throughout the season. So come Thursday, we're going to find out what happens against Eastern.
For you guys to have a home playoff game, too. How special is that for you as a head coach for the first time to, be able to be at home for this first game? Second, how much of an advantage is it? We've talked all season about how Gatone Stadium has that home field advantage type vibe to it. How awesome is it that you'll have the home crowd, you'll have your stadium, your feel, you know the energy in that building and what it
Right.
means to play at Gatone Stadium when the stakes are high, when the stakes are minimal, and everything in between.
Again, our kids are poised and ready. It's just nice to be poised and ready and come out of that locker room. It's home. You're home. These are your fans. This is your community. You're representing it to the umpteenth degree in a positive way. Um, they're just biting at the bit, man. I'm telling you, even the coaching staff. It's nice that we don't have to take no hour trip, 2 hour trip. We're home. We'll nestle in, make sure that we go ahead, dot our I's, cross our T's, and come out to put on a big performance for the Vineland community.
For everybody at home too with the consolation bracket, tell everybody kind of how that works and the format for it. It's obviously a newer addition to
Right.
the postseason with New Jersey high school football, but talk to everybody listening and watching about how the consolation bracket works and
Right.
what we should be looking for if you guys are able to take care of business on Thursday and progress, what the bracket kind of plays out to be as a whole.
Okay, so right now, the consolation bracket, it's basically thus. If you didn't make the state playoff divisional bracket, you make what's called the consolation bracket. Only the top 8 teams outside of the New Jersey State divisional playoff bracket make it. We're one of them. We're actually the first seed.
Very similar to March Madness with like your first four out
Right, right.
type of situation.
So that's how that plays out. So with that being said, we play Eastern. Edison plays Williamstown, or that's what it was. Now Williamstown, from what I understand, has dropped for whatever reason that may be, and now Edison's waiting on the new team to fill in that bracket spot. If we win, we advance to the final against whoever wins out of Edison and in that game, and then we win that game. We would play the winner out of the northern bracket. Okay, so there's a lot still on the
So
table.
four in the south bracket, four in the north bracket,
Right,
meeting of the minds for the
right.
championship.
And guess what? Because we're the first seed, we get to host that also. So it can potentially be 3 games right in Gatone Stadium, which
Which
would
is
be
huge.
huge, beautiful for the kids. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking to again, first and foremost, we got
You got
Eastern on our plate, and that's all we're looking forward to playing. After that, let the chips fall where they may. But right now, all attention focuses on Eastern High School.
You guys watched film today as we record this on Monday night. What are some things that stood out to you guys, from your dive so far into what Eastern does this year compared to last year? And what are some things that are similar, and what are some things that, you feel like you guys can really take advantage of playing against them? And what are some things that it's like, hey, this week, short week, we got to really hone in on dialing in on these specific aspects of our game?
What you're getting out of Eastern is a team that plays, disciplined football. You got They got a decent sized quarterback back there. The running back runs hard. So those are their positives. Our positives are that we have a relentless defense that's just going to get. It doesn't matter if you have a 100-meter state champion back there, fastest kid in the state. Doesn't matter if you have these high jumping athletes at your wide receiver arena. Our kids play discipline, almost mistake-free defense, man. Almost, with the exception of some things that we talked about today during film. But they play rally football, man. Everyone rallies to the ball. All hats rally to the ball. They're very opportunistic. One of the plays that bounces in my memory, Saquon Anderson. Receiver gets open right down the middle of the field. Receiver thought he high pointed the ball and everything. Looked great. But guess what?
Can come down with it.
Saquon is a student of the game. As he's coming down thinking he's very happy. I got the football. I got the football. There goes Saquon's arm inside of his and rips it out last minute. I mean, that kid's phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. And that's just one aspect of the defense. Carter had a game. Donnie St. Jean had a game. I mean, Jerry had a game. I could keep
The
going
entire
on and on.
linebacker crew.
The whole linebacking crew had a game. I mean, these kids are surprising people with how they play football. Not so much. We might not be gifted in areas where other teams have these unbelievable speedsters, on the edge or in the backfield. But what we lack in speed, we make up for in gameplay. In gameplay, we make up for it. So, yeah, we know what Eastern has, but I know they watch film too, and they know what we have.
Now that the regular season has kind of concluded, has there been any discussion, to just let this team know that you can win games even if the defense gives up points? Like, you don't have to rely on a shutout in order to win.
No, and they know that. Again, we've adjusted some things even today, for our guys to be in a better situation come this game. So again, our kids know that. Our kids know that, but guess what? They also know that they have each other's back. So the offense has defense's back, defense has the offense's back, special teams. So if one is lacking, the other will pick it up. It's not a blame. No one's pointing a finger. We always say point the thumb because it always points back at you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So our kids are a disciplined group, and they're going to find ways to win, whether it's offensive, defensively, special teams, or all three.
To kind of have, the experience that you guys have had. Highs have been very high, have had some low lows, and have had some in-betweens that were big-time learning experiences. How valuable has this, ride of a regular season been in preparation for what the postseason brings? Obviously, higher stakes, a lot more attention to detail on both ends of the football. How much of experiencing everything a football season can kind of throw at you do you think has and will prepare this crew for Thursday night?
Our kids have matured immensely throughout every game, and it's shown every game. I'm still getting calls or texts from other coaches, that tell me, Coach, you get better every week. You may have had some stumbles, but you get better every week, and that's a testament to the time that our coaches put in. That's a testament to the time our kids put in and the discipline that they've gained throughout the time that we've been together. Again, we're just going to keep plugging, and we're anticipating this game for Thursday at 6.
We talked about it almost every week. Who are some players, in this playoff game, higher stakes, you want higher performances, that you're looking to step it up, raise that bar for themselves, raise the bar for the team, and go out and perform like we mentioned, Ryan Maven, Noah Cruz. The captains on this team have done it week in and week out. Tank Powell has progressed every single week at quarterback. Who's, the next crop that you're looking for from this team to really step up and have their moment shine in the postseason?
I'll tell you what I'm looking for this postseason is for our offensive line to have the whole line to have a staple game. Just play the game the way it's meant to be. Play, full throttle every single play, and really impose their will on the defensive front, of Eastern. So I'm if I had to put a group and not just name kids, I would say the whole offensive line. I put it on your shoulders, guys. I want to see it this week, man, and I know they can do it.
It's one in the trenches.
I know they can do it.
At
yes.
every level, you win in the trenches. We've seen the D-line really step up. The O-line every single week has been fantastic. Let's see it again, boys.
Let's see it again.
We'll get our final thoughts and everything on Eastern, but let's talk about our alumni. Shift gears here, take a little breather.
Yeah.
The Rutgers Scarlet Knights
They
are
got
chopping
themselves a
on,
player,
Coach.
man.
6-2 in October, and are bowl eligible
How about that?
after a big-time win against Indiana. Tyreen, just another, rallying up the tackles, 3 more tackles in this one, a couple pass deflections. And the Scarlet Knights are bowl eligible in October.
Again, Coach Shiano, what you've done with your staff, what you've done with your players. I mean, you have built something very special again over at Rutgers, and very proud of you, your staff, the kids. This guy he knows football in and out. I mean, his staff right there with him. I mean, they're zoned in. Um, I can't say enough about that. That gentleman is a true coach, in and out. So, you know, congratulations, and I hope Rutgers brings back a bowl win. That would
That'd be
be
great.
phenomenal.
Put the bowl trophy right next to the Butkus Award. We'll do the
right,
whole thing.
right next to Tyreem getting the word that he's
Drafted.
yes, bye. I'm leaving now. I'm going through the 3 letters, NFL. That's where I'm going.
You know what's really funny too, Coach? I was thinking about this week when I watched Isaiah Pacheco score once again in the presence of one Taylor Swift. I don't know about you, but it's very funny that Tyreen Powell wears 22.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
The Taylor Swift connections are all over the place with our alumni.
It's kind of weird.
Jamil's making music. Tyreen
Yes.
Powell wears 22, and Isaiah's scoring touchdowns week in and week out with Taylor Swift in his presence.
Listen, man, very, very proud of that young man as well. I mean, he's a light in a room, man. I say it, and I know I've said it, but I'll keep saying it. He is living out a dream. It's an alternate reality, Kyle. It's an alternate reality he's living out, man. From him being on a team as decorated as the Kansas City Chiefs, with that coaching staff, with Andy Reid, then you add all these celebs, Taylor Swift, the Swifties, Paul Rudd, Hugh Jackman. I mean, the list is disgusting, man. And he's really living out this alternate reality, man. And it's a true testament to the type of person he is and the type of work that he puts into his craft. I mean, he makes everything look so easy, doesn't he?
Any touchdown he scores, it's like the easiest, smoothest route, whether it's catching the ball or running it. He makes it look like anybody could do it, which everyone knows not everybody can do it.
No. Even – all right, for instance, that was his first catching touchdown, right, of the season, right? Okay. What people don't understand is Andy Reid knows this man in space can make 1 or 2 people miss. That's not even a problem. What does he do? Gets the ball. Right when he turns around, the outside linebacker's on him now. 2-step, right inside, gone. Touchdown. Looks easy.
It's hard.
But it is very hard. It is very hard. So kudos to Isaiah, man. I love you, bro. Keep on doing what you're doing, man, and keep representing yourself in the light that you are, because he still has a lot to crack, man. He hasn't shown us anything yet. Keep telling people the best is yet to come.
Oh, 100%.
They're like, no, he's got a Super Bowl ring.
It don't matter.
The best is yet to come from that kid. You haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen the plays where you're like, did that happen? Wait until they happen.
Wait, you're meaning to tell me the brotherly love rivalry he has with Jamil, where Jamil's been to 2, and they both have 1?
You never know.
He wants to be the king of Vineland with Super Bowl rings on his finger.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. Those two,
it's like Rocky and Apollo.
Yeah. The relationship those two have, Tyreem, all the Vineland natives, they're tight, man. I'll tell you what, and I can guarantee you that, Pop is very competitive, so he is thinking like that. Like, wait a minute, Jamil he went to 2, so I got. However, Jamil's also egging him on. Come on, cuz, you gotta.
I'm at the top.
You gotta go. Let's go. So it's a great camaraderie that they have, and I love them kids, man. They're great kids. They're faces of the program forever. They're stapled in forever. And again, there's so much to be seen out of both of them, man. So much to be seen.
And then both Jamil and Isaiah got Tyreem binoculars on.
They're
right?
focused in, man.
He's ready to come for them.
Ready
next.
to go. And that's the beauty of it, that they all push each other in a great way, Kyle.
And still do at these levels.
Yes.
I want everybody to know, I have great relationships with all 3 of them on a personal level.
Right.
Those 3 talk to each other quite a bit.
All the time, man.
Quite a bit.
All the time. I mean, Pop, he was up there to see that last game,
Yep.
Michigan State. You know, he's always talking with Reem. He's always talking, with Jamil. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, man. Nothing changes. That's the beauty of these men. They don't switch up just because they got a little bit of money coming in. They
Just
don't
because they
do
got a
that.
ring on their finger.
Or a ring on their. They don't switch up, man. They are. Jamil is Jamil when I met Jamil back in high school. He's the
Yep.
same guy, man. Okay, beautiful person to be around, great aura. Pop is the same Pop I had in high school, coaching him up. Family, like
He's just a little more bulky.
yeah. I can show you pictures on this phone, man. That would be like that was Pop, But same, same. And Tyreem, spotlight on him, not on him.
Cool
Tyreem,
as a cucumber.
As a cucumber, man. He's just a great person. Great person to be around. These three gentlemen we were gifted to have over here in Vineland come through the program and shed a great positive light on the Vineland community. Kudos to all of them, men.
And you're fooling yourselves if they're not going to be tuning in Thursday night
Oh,
to watch this iteration of Vineland High School football go to work in the playoffs.
absolutely. They'll find a way, whether it's on their phone or they'll be watching. And we can't say enough about that. They always support us. We support them, and that's the bottom line. Vineland, go. That's it.
And you'll be able to watch on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel as well. So be sure to subscribe over there so you don't miss out on the broadcast. Click that bell icon because
Yes.
you'll know exactly when the broadcast starts, when we go live, and you'll be with myself, Rich Scarpa, on the call throughout the entirety of the game. And hopefully we don't have another viral moment in the sense that we had last year
no.
against Eastern. I'm having deja vu just
I
talking
know,
about
I
this.
know. None of this. We don't want to see this.
None of this.
Yeah, we don't want to see that no more.
I mean, it's funny to talk about now, obviously, because we ended up winning the game. But just
Right.
the fact that this is the matchup again,
Yeah.
it's fun to reminisce
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
game
I'm
a
with
little
you.
bit.
I'm with
We talked about it at the beginning of the year, but that play I think is one of the most iconic plays in Vineland High School football history, one way or the other, however you want to look at it.
Right.
Simply because it changed the trajectory of the game for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then you guys end up using that to go down the field and win that game.
Absolutely.
Where does that game in particular for you, being on the coaching staff then and just being around this team for so long, where does that game kind of, stick in mind for you in just the pantheon of historic games and just like iconic moments in Vineland High School football?
I don't think that game will ever leave my mental capacity, if you will. Just wrong. Wrong on in every sense of the word wrong, it was wrong. But you know what? People like that, what goes around comes around. Let's put it that way. Energy besets energy. And, I don't wish those guys no ill will or anything, but shame on them. Shame on them for doing that to kids. I've said it before, and I'm sure they got their comeuppance, if you will. I'm sure they did.
How
So,
much of a spook factor do you think that plays for Eastern, knowing that they're coming back into that same building, and how much, do you kind of have to make sure you do spook them coming into the building? It's October, for crying
is.
out loud. It's
Trick or
spooky
treat.
season.
Trick or treat.
How much do you want that to be a factor coming into Catone Stadium and making that postseason environment be scary for your opponent?
Well, I'll tell you this much. Our kids are going to be loaded for bear Thursday. They want to accomplish their goals in having a winning season. So that was one of the goals that they had set forth. Watch out, because our kids are coming. That's all I can say. I'm not one to be here and, oh, yeah, we're going to win. I know our kids will be ready. And come Thursday, come kickoff, brace yourselves, because our kids will be ready.
Coach, final thoughts heading into Eastern, a Thursday night game, 6 p.m. Eastern time on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Be sure to tune in. Be sure to come out to Catone State. Watch it live. Nothing like postseason football at any level. But your final thoughts to gear up and get ready for Thursday night football.
Let me tell you something. We're excited. We want the community to come out in droves. Um, and the weather's going to be beautiful, Kyle. Weather's going to be like in the 70s on tomorrow, 80 on Saturday. I mean, come out, watch these kids, man. Watch your kids. You know, make sure that you support them because they're going to put on a show, and that's definitely going to happen. I'm telling you, these kids are rearing to go. They're rearing to give the audience what they deserve, a beautiful show, and hopefully everything gets put together the right way. We advance to the next game.
It's a clean slate. It's a new season on the horizon. Everything that happened in the regular season, it's in the past.
It's in the past,
You
Kyle.
clean your hands from it. You don't worry about it anymore.
Nope.
It's a new season now that starts Thursday night against Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. Be in the building. Be smart, but be rowdy.
Yes.
Make
yes.
it an environment that is scary for the opponent. If you're coming out to the game, it's going to be a ton of fun. Be sure to subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you get Guzman's Gridiron every single week. We're going through the playoffs. We're going through Turkey Day. So we still got a few
Yes.
more
We
episodes
got
this
more.
season
We
that you
got
don't
more.
want to miss out on. So subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, so you don't miss out in video form. Debuts every Wednesday night around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We try to get it out there for the people. Might be a little earlier this week, too,
Yes,
with a
yes.
Thursday night game. So be sure to tune in there. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. And
Kyle,
Thursday,
before I forget, one more thing. It's the blackout.
there we
It's
go.
the blackout. Wear your black. Our kids are coming with a beautiful outfit on, beautiful uniform. So
There it
wear your
is.
black.
Look good, feel good,
Trick or
play
treat.
good, baby.
Halloween. Let's go.
Spooktober is here. Big thank you to our sponsors. This has been another episode of Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia from the Double Eagle Saloon and Deck Bar. We'll see you Thursday night for Thursday Night Football, and back here hopefully talking about a big postseason win.